Hello and welcome back to This Is Fine, because everything's not fine. Everything's fine. This is fine. This is fine. But I had originally planned to do today, have it live on YouTube, and then that didn't happen, and then I wanted to use my new webcam for the live thing, and then the live didn't work out, and apparently, so this is why my video is so small up here, and you're just gonna get stuck with it for a little while, because this is my new webcam. Isn't it nice? Yeah. Even the best laid plans, even though this was not a very well planned thing. But I have a special guest with me today. Hello? Can you say hello, Unang? Oh! Yay! She said hello! I love you, baby. She's got about a bajillion names, and she's gonna be reading with us today. Hello. Do you wanna say hello? She's very shy right now. She's probably like... She doesn't want to be held. Oh... Sometimes I just want you to sit in my lap like you always do, but today you just don't want to. Okay, so that's fine. That's what we're gonna do. But if she comes back, she comes back. So we'll save it. So today, this is gonna be a fun one. Another reason why I had wanted to do it live, but oh well, even the best laid plans. God, I need to stop saying that because it's not even that good. Okay, sorry about that. So essentially, I had asked, for a bunch of fandoms, to read fan fictions for, and I forgot how many fandoms I'm not in. So, that's funny. So somebody said, Naruto, let's read something from Naruto. And, yeah, I like anime, but I have not seen Naruto. Or Bleach, or One Piece, or Fairy Tail, or a bunch of other really long ones that it's just probably not gonna happen at this point. I mean, I know of the characters and stuff, it's not like it's completely foreign to me, but, not my thing. But that's only half of what we're reading today, because this one is actually got a bit of an OC in it. I mean, I'm only reading a chapter of this, because as you might have noticed, this is like a 38,000 word, thingy. There we go. Got my video back. This is only like a 38,000 word fanfic. Only. I guess that's short by Archive of Our Own standards, which I have other things to say about that. But, perhaps I'll just save that for another day and we'll have tea time. Which, by the way, I brought tea. Alright. So I'm just gonna read this. The fun thing is, this is more of like a Naruto Isekai sort of a deal. Yeah, I just kind of randomly picked one. Like I said, I don't know the characters. I don't really know the story, at all. Okay, that's a lie. People have spoiled shit for me. But this is gonna be fun. So we're gonna react to Naruto Isekai, essentially, called Second Verse by Sandwich Obits. Something like that. I'm gonna skip the summary, because... okay, fine. What happens when you take a nerdy engineer from the Air Force and throw them into the Naruto world? You get someone who is sincerely unimpressed by the lack of logistic support these militaries provide. Seriously. Have they ever heard of forward operating bases before? Not gonna lie, I kind of decided to read this after I got the first line, and so I didn't read the rest of it. Now I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. If I was all of a sudden just thrown in a Naruto world, they got magic there, don't they? They're ninjas. Sure, I mean... okay, we're gonna see how this goes. I mean, I like nerds, so... we're skipping the notes. Yeah. Chapter 1, Part 1. And by the way, this is where most of the thing, Isekai moment happens. So this is where we're starting. And where we're ending, we're not reading past Chapter 1. Because, like I've mentioned, this didn't go according to the plan. Alright. And... I'm going to try... Let's see. I want to read this with a fun voice today. I want to do fun narrating. So we're going to have fun with this. And this is in first person perspective, so let's just Let's just imagine how this Air Force nerd sounds, and we're gonna go from there. That's gonna be fun. Okay. Same as the first, but a whole lot louder and a whole lot worse. First, First came the loud and intense ringing in my ears, and then the pounding in my head. Once those finally subsided, enough for me to think clearly and open my eyes, I found myself curled up in the fetal position on the gravel walkway, clouds of dust floating in the air, air raid sirens ringing in the distance. What happened? An airstrike? This shouldn't have happened here. We're at least 100 miles from the front line. Technically, this base is in a neutral country and owned by a said neutral country, even though it's mostly occupied by American forces. What the... Oh! We're gonna bleep that one out. This is YouTube. What is an air raid happening here for? As soon as I roll over onto myself and attempt to get up when I feel it... Oh, my bad. Okay. As soon as I roll over onto myself and attempt to get up is when I feel it. An intense pain shooting from my stomach. God, this has to be the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life, even worse than the compound fracture I got in my leg 3 years ago. Looking down, I see a ton of blood dropping down in clumps from a wound in my stomach. I didn't know I had so much blood in me. How am I still awake? That is kind of gross, actually. You know, to be fair, when I open this thing, it says the creator chose not to use archive warnings, which means they chose not to say that there would be graphic depictions of violence, yet they're describing quite a bit of blood. No beta, we die like background characters. Woo! You know, well, I have a whole rant about baiting, and how I don't... And the whole, like, the tagging system that came out of it recently, and everybody's like, oh, we need a beta, we need a beta. I have a lot to say about that. And perhaps that'll be for, like, a tea time when I rant about Archive of Our Own. So, stay tuned. That's gonna be another day. But, still, this also said that it was for teen and up audience. I mean, it's not really too graphic so far, but I tried to choose something that was, like, you know, teen and up. It's okay. We're gonna keep going with this. I see blood dropping down in clumps from a wound in my stomach. Seconds after my brain connects the dots of what I'm looking at, a blinding pain shoots up my spine and my forehead crashed down on the ground. My forehead crashes down on the ground. But no beta, right? I mean, just saying. You can be your own beta. Reread it. Sorry, I'm gonna say that all the time because, like, you know what? I mean, like, I make these mistakes too, but a lot of things, you just reread it and you get it. Like, just take a step away, sleep on it, come back the next day, read it, and you probably get it. That's usually how it goes. At least in my personal experience. Okay, moving on. The pain doesn't stop, though. If anything, it increases, and I can't stop myself from letting out a blood-curdling scream. Whether it's because the air raid is finally over or someone heard my scream, I start to hear people's voices nearby. I sure freaking hope that... Really? Now you're gonna go with freaking? You already, like, used to... And now you're going with freaking? Oh well. Oh well. I sure freaking hope that someone comes to me soon. I can't even think about moving right now with the pain in my body. Cap! I hear someone yell in the distance. What do they sound like? Someone. They sound like someone. I mean, they're clearly a background character, but ironically, they're not dying. Because no beta, we die like background characters that survive. Cap! I hear someone yell out in the distance. Cap, you okay? Are they talking to me, I wonder? Because it should be very obvious that I am not okay. Seconds later, I feel myself turned over and onto my back. Hey, Cap, open your eyes! That's the last thing I want to do right now. Everything hurts too much. I slowly open my eyes and try to focus on the face, inches away from mine. Oh, that's Eccles, one of the staff sergeants I have under me. Well, hopefully he can save my life now. It's as if. It's as. This, this sentence is clunky, man. It's as I'm watching him yell to the people around him that my hearing goes in and out. This first, it's. Cut it. As I'm watching the people around him, my hearing goes in and out. Also, as I'm watching the people around him, comma, my hearing goes in and out. Just, in my opinion, that sentence would flow a little bit better than it's as I'm watching him talk to the people around him that my hearing goes in and out. I mean, yeah, got it after 3 tries. I don't know. It could have been better to avoid having to repeat the same sentence multiple times. Alright. It says, I'm watching him yell to the people around him that my hearing goes in and out. Then I begin to see black encroaching on the edge of my vision. This isn't good. It's a sign of losing too much blood, right? I manage to reach my arms up to my face and try and rub my eyes, get the black dots to disappear. It's not really successful. Whoa, Collins! I hear another guy shout out. Don't try to move too much, you're really hurt right now. That voice sounds very nervous to me, words shaking like the person doesn't really know what they're supposed to say. I don't blame them there. I squint my eyes to see who it is. Leaning across me, opposite side of Eccles, is Lawrence, the brand new lieutenant that joined us just last week. To say he looks out of it would be an understatement. He looks like he's barely hanging on and about to freak out. I can't blame him. He's brand new here, was only called to active duty a month ago and is fresh out of ROTC. He hasn't even been to tech school yet. I can't die in front of this kid. He'll never recover from it. I try to sit up, only to feel another shot of pain race through me, and I'm pushed back to the ground. Someone must be placing gauze on my nasty wound, for I feel even more spikes of pain traveling through me. Okay, at least the main character's, like, out of it enough to not really describe, like, the medical treatment that his comrades are doing. Because I'm like, right now, I'm like, I just really hope that they're actually trying to help him and not just talking to him. But yeah, like the main character, could you stop moving? I don't think you're really helping yourself right now. But this is an isekai, so I guess he's gotta you know, meet the Grim Reaper before he can go to Naruto. So let's see. Which, I mean, it's funny to talk about, but it's actually not one of my favorite anime tropes. I don't know, like, I just don't like the I died and was reincarnated thing. What if you just had a portal that you could just, hop through? So that way you don't destroy the hearts of everybody that you loved in the world that you currently were alive in. Just saying. Just saying. That's my style. I'd rather be a portal jumper. Alright. I slowly come to the realization that I must be dying. Funny, isn't it? I've survived firefights where bullets were landing inches from my head, but taking a simple walk from the gym to the base bar and I get hit in an airstrike that should have never happened. Now I have a giant hole in my chest and I can feel myself slowly dying. This sucks. I only turned 20. Oh, this sucks. I only turned 28 2 months ago. Fun fact, if you're going to actually spell out 28 instead of putting the numbers 2 and 8, you gotta hyphenate it. Because otherwise it's 28, not 28. In case you didn't know. But again, no beta. We die like the background characters that are not dying and the main character that is. Okay, this sucks. I only turned 28 2 months ago. I don't have any kids carrying on my legacy. Freak. I'm not even married yet. I'm just annoyed about the use of freak. Again? I don't know. I mean, personally, like, Okay, when you're saying freaking, it might sound like a little bit more here, like, oh, freak, I'm not even married yet. Like, that I personally would say, oh, fudge, I'm not even married yet. If I was trying to, censor it. That being said, you already dropped the actual word twice in the beginning. Did you just decide that you used up too many and. But, that aside. Alright. I try to open my eyes again and see Eccles' face. He looks worried, concentrated. I don't have the strength to tell him it's useless anymore. My last thought is that I should have called my mom last night. See? What did I just say about portal jumping and how it's so much better than dying and leaving your family behind? So this is why I'm not really an isekai person, because you know what? At the end of the day, I think his mom is gonna be like completely wrecked, heartbroken that her son died in some air raid, and it's somewhere probably across the seas, and in a random thing that probably wasn't even supposed to happen. I just I just don't like that. Because when this main character has passed on, they're gonna have a great life in Naruto, and it's gonna be fun and everything. We're all gonna like blah blah blah, blah whatever. But I'm not going to stop thinking about the people, aka that this mother that you just mentioned, that you left behind. So, just saying. All right. Now we have a little time skip thing, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to assume that this is indeed still the main character, since it's still same perspective, so we're just going to keep going with that. I glare grumpily down at the shogi board as I wait for my brother to come back to finish this game. When our father left for a new mission last week, Shikaku finally thought it was time for him to teach 4-year-old me, his younger brother, how to play shogi. What? 4-year-old? 4-year-old me? Explain. Okay, is that how isekais normally work? That you're just like a child? Because all the isekais that the ones that I've heard about, you're usually just when you like die and whatever word you normally are, you like are you wake up in whatever the other world is that you're like been transported to, pretty much as you are and not as a child. So, but that's not what they're doing here. Okay. So, 4-year-old me, his brother, to how to play shogi. And well, so now I have to do like a 4-year-old voice. Because you're a 4-year-old. You're not a 28-year-old anymore. You just got 24 years back on your life. Congratulations. You died to earn 24 years. You're the big winner. Alright. When our father left on a new mission last week, Shigaku finally thought it was time for him to teach 4-year-old me, his younger brother, how to play shogi. And while I do usually love playing board games, the game that never made any sense to me and that I hate the most is chess. And shogi is just too similar to chess in my personal opinion. I had tried, like any good Nara, when someone wants you to do something, to avoid learning this. And consequently, my brother, for the past week, but apparently... Wait, that's all one sentence? Damn, what a run-on. I had tried, like any good Nara, when someone wants you to do something, to avoid learning this, and consequently, my brother, for the past week. But apparently, shogi is the one thing Naras aren't supposed to avoid. I'm not really sure I believe Shikaku on that, and if that's true, then I guess I'll be the one Nara this rule doesn't apply to. Oh. Miss Uli just... Come on, Miss Uli! Don't you want to say hi again? She does not. I might go capture her and have her say hi again. Anyways. Okay. That doesn't change the fact that eventually Shikaku found and caught me. A 4-year-old can only hide and evade people twice in their age for so long. Amateur ninja skills or no. Now I'm currently tied to a kitchen chair with a shogi board on the table in front of me as Shikaku left my arms free, but that's probably just so I can move the shogi pieces. Tying a 4-year-old to a chair? That sounds like... that's bad. Okay. Is that what they do in Naruto? I didn't think so, but okay. I sigh loudly and cross my arms as I wait for Shikaku to come back so I can just purposely lose again. He can give up and let me go. Speaking of which, Shikaku left to answer the knock on the door a while ago. What's taking him so long? Don't tell me you forgot about me now. As I'm trying to shimmy out of this contraption that Shikaku has me tied up in, I remember just how I got in this situation. Not the tied up in a chair as my brother teaches me shogi because he needs someone to play shogi against situation, but the I've been reborn in the Naruto world after a violent death in my past life situation. To be honest with you, it probably took me longer than it should have to figure it out that I was in... To be honest with you, it probably took me longer to figure out... To be honest with you, it probably took me longer than it should have to figure out that I was in a Konoha of all places. With whatever weird mashup of technology that exists in the Naruto world, I thought I was simply living in an old house in some small-scale suburban town in Japan. Back then, I was more mad that I was born in a Japanese-speaking family than I was in anything else. Okay. I don't know. And here I am trying to learn Japanese, and it's hard. But I want to. Eventually I'm going to get there. It seems my years of learning to speak and read Korean were only useful for the 1 year of my life that I was stationed in Korea. Seriously, though, I'm going to have to learn another alphabet. I mean, good for you. Good for you. You're now multilingual, honey. You're a multilingual 4-year-old. You're going to be a genius because of all your past 28 years of experience, so hush. Seriously, though, I'm going to have to learn another alphabet. One which is 10 times more complicated than the Hangul and the Roman alphabet. Now that I'm personally going to have to disagree with because I did start trying to learn Hangul, the Korean alphabet, and... I don't get it. Well, it's like, eventually I'll get it, but whoever decided to, like, how they were Romanizing the, like, sounds of, like, of Hangul, like, they put, it's like, say, like, G, they write, like, okay, so, like, there's, like, the Hangul letter, and then they put, like, GU, but then, like, the sound that you hear is more of a K sound, and I'm like, well, then why did you put G? And they're like, oh, well, sometimes it's a G sound, and I'm like, well, then why? It's just, like, I mean, I kind of have this problem with, like, with the way they Romanize, like, hiragana and katakana and stuff, because it's just, like, whoever, like, did it, which, I mean... Clearly it's been some time since whoever did it. It's just like, whatever they did was not actually, in my opinion, always repeating the sound that they actually expect. And that's frustrating me as a learner. Yes! I have won! Miss Uli's my prize! Hello, baby. Come on. I am trying to also learn to speak cat. I think I'm most successful at that. Hello, baby. But, no. Yes, that's just what I'm ranting on about the letters, and I personally find katakana and hiragana a lot more straightforward to learn than Hangul. Like Hangul, like, you know, like you got the letter, then you add one thing and it changes, and then it just, there's a lot to it. Now, if you're talking about, like, comparing it to kanji, or, like, you know, the actual, like, say, like, Chinese alphabet characters, yeah, that's different, but that's different. Like, Hangul, like, it's, like, kanji, you can speak, Japanese by learning the alphabet of like hiragana and katakana, because then you will understand the sounds. You'll be able to like read on a child level. But you know, it's just like you can get by with that. So it's not like it's, I don't know. I personally just found Hangul more confusing, and the way that they romanized it certainly more confusing, because it made it, the written letters, the Roman letters that they used to describe the sound did not match the sound. So, maybe I just had a bad learning platform. Duolingo. Miss Uli is sneezing. Are you okay? She seems okay. All right. Where was I? Talking about this in the Roman alphabet. Okay. So that's just another thing I'm going to put off doing for as long as possible. Well, you are a 4-year-old. Bear in mind, sir, you are a 4-year-old. So I don't think most people really expect a 4-year-old to read at like an adult level. They don't even expect you to speak at an adult level. So, yeah, you got some time to put that off. You're 4. Okay. It wasn't until Shikaku had taken me out to the market one weekend and I saw many people wearing the Konoha leaf headbands that I made the connection. And even then, for a couple hours that day, I thought we had walked through some weird pop-up anime convention. Whatever. I guess I'm lucky that when I was a kid, my little brother and I would watch the Naruto anime, and when I was on TV, and oh my goodness, this is all one sentence. It goes all the way across the page and halfway down the next line. What the? I barely get a comma for a breath. This was not written to be read aloud. You know, in general, like, you don't need a beta, just read it aloud. It's actually, like, solid advice, like, I've gotten from, like, other authors, editors, people, like, to read your own work aloud. So that way you actually see how it flows, because then you might actually catch, like, the sentences that are clunky. And at the end of the day, like, also, if you want to ever, like, say, like, obviously not for fan fiction necessarily, but if you wanted to make an audiobook, you should read your book aloud, because that's what an audiobook is. So if you can't do it yourself, you can't expect anybody else to do it. Like, you know, okay, here we go. But I'm gonna attempt the sentence one more time. I guess I'm lucky that when I was a kid, my little brother and I would watch the Naruto anime when it was on TV. And the fact that one college night, after I finished my last final for the semester, I decided to finish watching the Naruto series. I'm not even an anime fan. Why did they get transported to Naruto? They don't even like anime. I'm sure there's plenty of otakus who rather have been isekai'd, but okay. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably be screwed right now. Even though I'm currently in a period that was lightly touched upon in the series, I guess I'm lucky that I know future events that certainly would have been good in my last life. Indeed. Also, you know future events until you tell people that you know future events. And then all of a sudden, the plot changes. Because that's how time... Because time loops, let's just not get into that. We're not going to keep reading past this first chapter, so we're not going to get into that. This is fun and everything, but I mean, again, I don't know Naruto enough to actually keep reading it. But, you know, I mean, it's fun enough. I like it more than last week's. It's okay. So yeah, I have no idea why I ended up reincarnated here. And to be honest, I don't know why, nor do I want to be one of those characters who decide to save everybody. Because if life taught me anything, that's impossible. And to try that will only lead you to serious being burnout in life. And I can't be the only person this has happened to. I'm nowhere near important enough for me to be the only person to have been reincarnated. You can just leave the saving the world crap to them. Well, again, you are a 4-year-old. You are a 4-year-old. I really hope that a 4-year-old isn't going to. They might want to save the world, because, 4-year-olds want to be superheroes. But they shouldn't actually, because that's dangerous, and therefore, just saying. But also, if you're assuming that you're going to talk about more reincarnation and stuff, why would you assume that other people are going to also go to Naruto? There is a plethora of anime to choose from. I don't want to be isekai. I want my portal jumping, and if I'm going to be portal jumping, am I going to go to Naruto? I certainly hope not, because I don't know it. I'd be so lost, and I don't think I'd have much fun. There's plenty of other worlds I'd rather portal jump to, like Kuroko's basketball, but and then now that I would portal jump to. Portal jump, mind you. I keep saying that for a reason. You people, we all make a lot more connections than we realize, and it's only until you're moving away or something like that when you realize that you have a lot of people to say goodbye to or something like that. And being fully isekai'd like this, whatever, it's just, sure, this is good for you, but it also just sucks for everybody you left behind. So, portal jumping. I'll come back. Oh, yeah. For now, though, I'm probably going to have to live this life the same as my last one. Go down whatever paths I find the most interesting, and eventually have a gaggle of kids large enough to make up a basketball team. Once I'm finally free of the trap Shikaku put me in, I make it my mission to find him and interrupt his nap, because the only reason he'd leave me tied up this long is that he forgot about me and decided to take a nap. And once I find him, he'll be very sorry he left me here. So I turn down the hallway leading to the entrance of our house and suddenly feel like I'm in my last life and 12 years old again. Walking inside from playing with my dog in the backyard to find my mom talking to 2 army officers in their service dress. Although this time, instead of my mother, it's Shikaku, and instead of army officers, it's 2 shinobi. They're bringing the same news we were given back then. Our father's dead. Although I'd later find out that instead of dying in a freak training accident miles away from our house, my father in this life was killed by a knife to the throat courtesy of a Kumo spy as he slept in his tent. Oh, that's so sad. Good lord, how... Oh, God. I think I've already been at this for a while, so that's actually a really good stopping point. And they also decided that this was a stopping point, so we're actually gonna call it. It's not like it's fun, it's good, it's a story that reads well and everything, but I don't have enough tea to keep doing that 4-year-old voice. I also need to work on my 4-year-old voice. That was a little raspy. Yeah. Let me know if you want to hear more voices. I like doing voices, so I hope you say yes. Miss Lee, do you want to say? Oh no, she's grooming. We'll come back to her. But yeah, I hope you like this little isekai fanfic. Sorry about the whole live stream not going as I had hoped to play, but hey, maybe next week, maybe in the future we'll start doing more react live things, because I don't know, I think it's more fun to do it live, and I also get very tired of having to edit these videos. Perhaps this might be a little bit bad to say, but also at the same time I started to notice how large these files are, and my computer is not the newest and doesn't have the most memory, so I might do more lives. I think that is hopefully going to solve that problem. But and when I do the live next week, we're hopefully, I don't know, maybe it'll just be like a tea time, because I don't know if I'll be able to share my screen like I'm able to right now. Had to do some janky stuff to get this to work though, but hey, it worked. So see you all next week. I hope you enjoyed this isekai moment. I actually did. I mean, like, there's like some, obviously like things that I would do differently, but I think it was good. And since I don't really know Naruto, like, it's kind of fun to just read it and think of it as a story all on its own. But that being said, like, do I think if this weren't fan fiction, would I be happy reading this in like a book? Because, in a sense, that's kind of like an approach I'm coming in with because I don't know the fandom, right? Or I don't know Naruto. I don't think I would be the super happiest if I were to read this like in a published book. Um, but just the way it's written, it's just not my style. I think that it's just not my style. At the end of the day, it's not my style. Yeah, okay. But this is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Remember? Everything's fine. Alright. Well, that's it for today, and I hope you had fun. And I'll post a link to this thing if you want to keep reading it, read the rest of it. And let me know what you think. Yeah. We'll meet again next week and do a lot more fun voices. Bye.